There goes Mr. Speed King himself, passing on a curve. Okay, what's the matter, lady? Your arm broken? Hey, what's the big idea? All right, pull over there, Jack. You need to hog the whole road? Lady, that stop sign means you. What you're saying is one of the most interesting and important experiments in driver education today. And it proves that some people really do drive like 6-year-olds. For example, most of our traffic and motor safety problems are created by a few childishly inconsiderate drivers. Drivers who play childish but dangerous games with everyone else on the road. Lady, that stop sign means you. Well, if bad driving habits are childish, when is the best time to learn to be a good citizen behind the steering wheel? Well, based on the old proverb that as the twig is bent, so is the tree inclined, at Garfield Elementary School in Phoenix, Arizona, a new approach to driving safety education has been developed. School children are learning about the automotive age before they learn their ABCs. Driver education begins soon after school opens for kindergarten classes, first, second, and third grades. First, a magic safety show dramatizes the basic rules of safety. Each year's magic show is new and different and wonderful to behold. And while they're watching the rabbit that comes out of the hat and the mysteriously changing stop sign, even the smallest children learn that the big men in the blue uniforms are their friends. The familiar games of kindergarten have been modernized to teach a life-saving lesson, the meaning of stop and go. First graders get out into the big wide world to learn by doing. Traffic lights, traffic signs, crosswalks become familiar through first-hand experience. And as for jaywalking, not these kids. It seems that the younger we are, the faster we can learn new things. And it seems the earlier we learn something, the more likely it is to become a part of our basic character. Almost every small child has the capacity for learning courtesy and sportsmanship. And these are the simple basics of good driving attitudes. On tabletops, with tiny cars, first graders learn an awareness of the rights of others and the need for rules and regulations to protect those rights. At first, it's hard to see why we have to stay on the right side of the road, especially when we don't know right from left. But safety consciousness is something that can be learned along with spelling and arithmetic, and more fun too, even though it means learning how to wait your turn with self-control and good sportsmanship. But toys are just toys. There's nothing like the real thing. And here's the real thing. Real tires with real air in them, headlights that work, a horn that blows. car, mounted on blocks, is called the Phoenix Link Trainer, patterned after the famous aviation trainer on which so many pilots learned the fundamentals of flying without leaving the ground. Now, while he's learning, young Mr. Future Driver may rack up quite a few miles without going anywhere. But one proud day, there's that temporary driver's permit as a reward for all the hours of practice. This is it, even though it's only a beginner's driving course. Yeah, the first time behind the wheel of the one-boy power automobile in motion. But driving is a privilege that must be earned. Young Jimmy, for example, he had the idea that school was just about as bad as prison, and maybe if he absolutely refused to study, he might be sent home. And then he found out that no school, no driving. Today, Jimmy isn't exactly a top student, but he's in there trying. With the help of the older students, tomorrow's drivers learn how to take care of their cars before they drive on the advanced course. The advanced driving course has just about everything that the American motorist encounters in his driving about town and across country. Highways, city streets, crosswalks, pedestrians, traffic signals and policemen, and of course, country roads and detours. Everyone takes his turn at being driver, pedestrian, or policeman. Traffic violators get tickets and are brought to trial before a jury of the classmates. Now, crime just doesn't pay. This batch of hot rodders have had their licenses suspended for a day. At a most impressionable time of life, an important rule of society is learned. Laws are meant not to restrict, but to protect. For 3 years, in the first, second, third grade, children learn through actual experience the reason for safety laws. They develop self-confidence and the respect for the rights of others. Courtesy and cooperation and sportsmanship are practiced until they become habits. Once established, these habits pay off. And when tomorrow's drivers outgrow the small cars, safety on 2 wheels is stressed in the Phoenix program in preparation for the day when actual driving instruction begins. Hey, do you remember your first driving lesson? There seemed to be so many things you had to learn all at once. But this high school student has been driving since kindergarten days. And now, behind the wheel of a fine modern car, can concentrate on becoming an expert. And with a built-in code of driving ethics, she can soon become a responsible member of the driving community. Even the hot rod addict with his craving for speed is given a chance to release his youthful energies without injuring himself or others. Hot rod clubs, organized and supervised by local and state police, stage special races under established safety rules. Now, there's plenty of speed here, but the boys themselves will drop a member for even a minor traffic violation. That's a tougher sentence than a police judge could or would impose. While most teenagers behave themselves at the wheel, well, there always has to be someone who's the exception. Someone who hasn't learned that safety makes sense. In the judge's private chambers, the juvenile traffic offender appears with his parents for a friendly but a serious discussion of his case. If he has recklessly risked his own life and the lives of others, his license is suspended. And he's sent to Phoenix's Attitude School for 5 two-hour classes. In this Attitude School, state, county, and city police officers tell how laws and ordinances are passed by the people for their own common protection. Scientific tests and instruments are used to explain depth perception, reaction time, and muscular coordination, and to emphasize the importance of looking where you're going, of being on your toes, of being careful. Written examinations bring out the fine points of driving. And finally, the Attitude School students ride in patrol cars to see for themselves why safety is important. In the past few years, thousands of graduates of the school have had their licenses restored because their attitudes have changed through better understanding of their cars, and their laws, and their policemen. parents and teachers and the police of Phoenix don't claim that they've found the perfect answer to the problem of educating drivers for tomorrow, but they have shown what one community can do to help make streets and highways safer and more pleasant for all of us. And here's an interesting sidelight for you to think about. One of the least expected dividends of the program is an improvement in adult driving habits. You see, parents, in setting good examples for their children, learn to be safer drivers themselves. They have to. Tomorrow's drivers won't excuse careless drivers.
Man, we need a car. Hey, Tony!
Is that Julie?
See what I mean about a car?
Look at that hot shot Randall. You seen his new car? What a hot shot.
It's pretty nice. It's probably over in the parking lot. Wanna go take a look at it?
You know, I used to know that guy when he was all right.
He's okay. He's not a bad guy. You wanna go take a look at his car?
What a hot shot.
Come on, let's go take a look at his car.
Why do I want to take a look at his car?
Well, there it is. What do you think?
Not so hot.
Well, it's not so bad either. Look at that, he left his keys in the car.
Man, what a dummy. Want to take it for a little spin?
Are you kidding me?
No, they'll be practicing for another 2 hours.
You're not serious.
Sure, we'll be back in 2 hours. Easy.
I don't know.
You won't find out. You'll never even know it's gone. Just check your watch and we'll be back in 2 hours.
Come on. All right.
All right, Randall, that's way to go, man. Shoot him out, all right.
Hey, do you think your old man's ever gonna let you get a car?
I don't know. The only thing he ever talks to me about is when I'm going to get my next haircut.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid. I used to have a barber named Mr. Combs. Hey, let's see how fast this thing will do 0 to 60. 3, 2, 1, 0.
Now
Well, that's done. Let's go call up the girls.
Sounds good. I'll drive you over to the phone.
Hey, I called them last time. You call them this time.
Hey, we don't have much time. Come on, you call. You're better at that stuff than I am.
Yeah, you did blow it the last time.
I did not. You blew it.
Okay, if I blew it, then you call them.
Okay, man. I'm driving. You call.
Hi, God. Nice car. Isn't that Randall's car?
Yeah. You rode it this.
You did?
Yeah, that Randall's all right.
You can't drive. You don't even have a license.
Drove here, didn't I?
If you get caught, you'll be in so much trouble.
What are they gonna do? Take away his library card? Come on, girls, let's go for a ride.
Well, what do you think? We have nothing else to do? Yeah, but they don't have a license. I don't know.
Well, if you want to sit around and be bored all day, that's fine with us.
I feel so free.
Well, how do you like the car, girl?
It's all right. Rides well. Yeah, but the windshield's cracked.
Probably got hit by a baseball.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's pretty nice.
Well, I've got a friend who's got a Porsche.
What's so great about a Porsche?
Hey, let's go for a ride up the hill.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Hey, I know a great place up there, too.
We've been just good friends, but who can see around the bend?
It's right over to the left.
What is it?
You'll see.
Hey, I don't want to go down there. There might be some snakes. No, there aren't. Come on.
Come on, let's go check it out.
What's down there anyway?
It's a great old car. Come on.
Let's go see it. Who wants to see a car?
Come on, let's go.
All right, stay here. Come on.
Come on.
Well, don't blame me when you get bitten by a snake.
Here it is. What do you think?
Hey, that's neat.
In about 5 minutes, Randall's gonna find out his car's gone.
Doesn't know you have it? Because he loaned it to you.
Well, we kind of took it.
Let's go.
Got a hot, hot day at 9. Gonna be there right on time. Please stay 55 if I'm gonna make up time. I gotta move that line. Step on the pedal and make up time. I gotta step on the pedal and make up time.
Don't you think you're going a little fast?
Yeah, take it easy, pal.
Now, come on, slow down, please.
Oh, no.
That's really crazy. Sing, Lena.
Screaming 852. In a minute, better be there with you.
Now you gotta stop.
We lost my little team anymore.
You gotta stop. Wait a minute.
You lost him, okay? Just take it easy, pal.
No, I gotta put some distance.
Feel so free today. I don't know why, but here I wanna stay. You sitting so close to me, maybe just could it be we're falling in love? We've been just good friends, but who can see around the
This is the most unusual party you've ever attended. These people are deliberately getting drunk, with the later intention, once they're under the influence, of driving automobiles. Under the supervision not only of safety officials and police officers, but the Parent Teachers Association and the State of Nevada Medical Association. This is an alcohol driver's test, conducted on a specially prepared driving range near Reno. What actually happens when an otherwise good driver gets behind the wheel while under the influence? Modern life is geared to the automobile, a complex mechanism that in itself must be operated by an even more complex entity, you. The act of driving requires quick reactions, good coordination, clear vision, and split-second judgment. Yet today's motorized civilization, more than ever, likes to socialize, relax their tensions, enjoy life. Most people usually think of alcohol as a stimulant, but it isn't. The impression of stimulation is simply a lessening of inhibitions. Alcohol is actually a type of anesthetic chemically related to ether and chloroform. So in a sense, as you drink, you are becoming anesthetized. But does a little alcohol, just a drink or two, really affect you? The tests you are about to see will prove that as little as 0.04% alcohol in the blood reduces visual acuity as much as if you were wearing dark glasses after sundown.
Can I see your driver's license, please?
Sure.
Have you been drinking this evening, Mr. Dempsey?
No, not at all.
How did you happen to
Maybe
park
one
it?
letter.
Sir?
One, maybe one or two at the most.
One or two at the most.
Yeah.
Mr. Dempsey, would you mind getting out of your automobile, please? Would you be willing to take a sobriety test?
Well, yes. Sure, I'll take one.
Before I give you the examination, Mr. Dempsey, I want to advise you that anything you say or do, sir, may be used as evidence against you in court. Do you understand that?
Yes, I understand. Sure.
He's lucky. This time, he's only going to be embarrassed. For running a red light, he could have been embalmed. It can happen anytime, anywhere, to anyone. But being under the influence doesn't help. It was to determine how much a driver is adversely affected by relatively small amounts of alcohol that the Nevada Alco driver test was developed. The first was the reaction test, to see how fast the subject could react and brake on signal. The officer actuated a mechanism that fired a marker onto the paper. The subject hit the brake as fast as possible. This fired another marker. The reaction distance was measured. A good average for sober drivers was 0.55 seconds. Now, driving test number 2. Designed to check the subject's ability to maneuver a vehicle in close quarters. The next day, the party. Each subject was allowed a predetermined amount of alcohol, based on body mass. A breath test was given to aid in determining the alcohol consumption level. And each subject was also given a blood test. This shows the alcohol level of the blood, and is an accepted way of measuring the degree of intoxication. 0.15% is widely accepted as an indication that a person is under the influence. With the average individual, this occurs with just a few highballs. Then came an analysis of visual acuity, color vision, the all-important test for depth perception, visual reaction time, and so on. Then came the moment of truth. After all the speculation and the generalizations about driving while under the influence, The guinea pig drivers are ready to confirm or deny. Jim, subject number 5, for example, took 50% longer to react when under the influence, as did Marge, subject number 12. The second phase. Measurement of the subject's ability to drive smoothly, coordinate, and maneuver in close quarters showed that alcohol ruined the previous day's scores for everyone. The penalties amassed by the participants represented minor collisions, bent fenders, damage to structures, and possible serious accidents if they had really been driving in traffic. The girls scored as poorly as the men. What did the tests prove? Peripheral vision dropped nearly 18 degrees with the consumption of alcohol. The all-important sense of depth perception deteriorated to only 26% of normal. Reaction time, a life and death factor, increased dangerously about 25 to 50% with the intake of alcohol. In conclusion, the medical summary.
The alcohol driver experiment proves without a doubt that a person's ability to operate a motor vehicle can be seriously impaired at levels far below the 0.15% blood alcohol content. The presumptive standard, equal to about 7 drinks, is not a realistic figure. Immediate consideration should be given to reducing the under the influence standard downward to the 0.10%.
I can't do it in the shoes.
But would you like to take your shoes off?
Yes, please.
None of these people planned to put themselves on display like this. They were caught in the driver's seat after they had put others, as well as their own lives, in jeopardy. Two average highballs contain an ounce of alcohol. It will take your body about 3 hours to oxidize it. If you have had 3 or 4 drinks, up to 6 hours, and so on. So you had better let someone else drive, or risk being the unwilling subject of a test yourself.
I touch the tip of your nose with the finger that I call out. Would you try that, please? Okay, Mr. Dempsey. That's fine. You didn't do too well on that. How many drinks did you say you had, sir?
1 or 2.
1 or 2 drinks?
2 at the most.
That's a little hard to believe. Would you step over here to the car, please, sir? You're under arrest for drunk driving.
But people like this prove that even a few drinks seriously impair your ability to see, react, coordinate the most important skills of this motorized age. Don't let a few drinks foul up that complex, finely balanced entity, you, when you have to get behind the wheel.
That's what you said, wasn't it, Bill? But it can and just did, and you're not quite sure why. Let's see if we can find out. Too many minutes ago, that young woman and her child were happy and healthy. Now their young bodies are crushed and racked with pain. Maybe they'll live and maybe they'll die. But one thing's sure, the next few minutes, hours, or maybe days, their lives will hang in the balance. And you'll have to live out those minutes, hours, and days knowing you were responsible. The police will measure out the skid marks, determine where you applied the brakes, give you a sobriety test, and it will all go into a report that will be reviewed in court. Maybe you'll be found guilty. Maybe you won't. But you'll never outlive the memory of waiting. Waiting to find out if the mother and daughter will live or die. Then the police are at you with questions. Where had you been? Had you been drinking? Would you submit to a sobriety test? Sure, why not? After all, you'd only had a few beers. You're not drunk. Of course you're not drunk. Not in the common sense of the word. But your driving ability was measurably impaired. How could it be? You feel fine. But what you didn't know was that it only takes a few beers to take the keen edge off your driving performance and slow your reaction time. You see, alcohol is not a stimulant. It's a sedative, a depressant. Oh, sure, the first few drinks make you feel more alive and responsive. But actually, as the alcohol enters the bloodstream, it slows down normal operation of the heart and nerve centers and depresses the inhibitory mechanisms of the brain. It removes inhibitions and social restraints. This is what gives us the feeling of stimulation. You have more assurance, but less self-control. And this is when the danger begins. You get a Superman complex behind the wheel at the very time when your driving skill and mental outlook have been seriously damaged. When ethyl alcohol, which is the foundation of all liquor, enters the circulatory system through the stomach, it's oxidized by the liver and turned into heat energy in the form of calories. Unfortunately, the liver can only process about 3/8 of an ounce of alcohol per hour. That's about the amount in 3/4 of a shot glass of whiskey or a short beer. When more alcohol is taken, the liver is unable to process it, and it passes into the bloodstream and is carried to all parts of the body. As the percentage of alcohol begins to build up in the bloodstream, the first part of your nervous system to be affected is your judgment center, located in the frontal lobe of the brain. This is the area of the brain that determines right from wrong. The alcohol works as an anesthetic, and we adopt a "I don't care" or "sure I can make it" attitude. We contemplate stupid things like passing on a curve or a hill. We become easily exasperated by the driver we feel isn't going fast enough, and we take chances we wouldn't ordinarily take to pass him. True enough, we're not drunk. At least not legally drunk. By that we mean our blood alcohol content is still below the 0.15% considered by law to be legally intoxicated. But those few beers we had can reduce our driving ability as much as 25 to 40%. A report by the American Medical Association clearly showed that 2 shots of 100 proof whiskey or 2 12-ounce bottles of beer can inject a dangerous amount of alcohol into our system if we're driving. And the worst part is that we probably aren't aware of it. Even an hour after having a couple of beers, our reaction time to light signals can be reduced as much as 6%. In another test, it was shown that after a 3-ounce drink, it took as much as 12 seconds for a person to regain his normal sight after being blinded by the lights of an oncoming car. At 60 miles an hour, that would be over 1,000 feet, or 1/5 of a mile of blind driving. Alcohol sometimes causes visual distortion, too. Things become blurred and indistinct. Another problem which often goes unnoticed by the driver but is no less dangerous is tunnel vision. Tunnel vision is a phenomenon where your field of vision becomes increasingly narrow. That is, your periphery or sight vision is decreased. This makes you vulnerable to cross traffic and is often the cause of sideswipe or intersection accidents. The National Safety Council says that 2 normal cocktails or 4 beers can reduce visual acuity as much as wearing dark glasses at night. Now, only a fool would drive at night wearing dark glasses, but nobody thinks much about driving after 4 beers. The effect of alcohol on vision is particularly serious because 90% of the driving decisions we make are based on how well we see. So if you must drive, don't drink. If you do drink and must drive, wait. Let the effects of the alcohol wear off. A good rule of thumb, wait 1 hour for each bottle of beer or each ounce of whiskey. The more alcohol you take, the longer you should wait until it is safe to drive. Because the danger of having an accident increases with the amount of alcohol in your system. For instance, under identical driving conditions, a person with 0.05% alcohol in his blood, that's about 2 drinks or a few beers, is twice as likely to have an accident as a person with no alcohol in his blood. With 0.10%, 3 to 6 drinks or a couple of quarts of beer, the chances are 3 times as great. And when the blood alcohol has reached 0.15%, which is the legal limit, the chances are 10 times as great. A common misapprehension of the drinking driver is that when he first drinks, that is during the absorption period as it's sometimes referred to, the individual readily feels the effects of the alcohol. But during the wearing off period, he becomes less aware of these effects and deludes himself into thinking he is sober. But he is falsely comparing his maximum feeling of intoxication with his beginning feeling of sobriety. He may be far from sober and is only making a dangerous comparison. We are all aware that alcohol and gasoline don't mix, but many of us think it can't happen to us. But it can and does in ever-increasing numbers each year. And it isn't until we have an accident that we seriously ask ourselves why we have that extra drink. We all find excuses for drinking. Bills weren't so different from the rest. A need to belong, a desire to go along with the group, try something new. It may start innocently enough, a few beers with the gang. It is a social custom of our time. But today that social custom is invading our society at a younger age than ever before. The few drinks that the social drinker may take don't seem to present a serious danger. But the trouble with drinking and driving is that it is always too late when the emergency arises and our reactions are too slow to avoid disaster. It is readily agreed by authorities and tests that driving skills are to a degree a matter of habit, built up over long periods of practice. It has also been proven that the latest driving skills mastered are the first to go when under the influence of liquor. Therefore, the older, more experienced driver is less likely to have his skills seriously impaired than the younger, less experienced driver. One must be able to judge speed and distance, follow traffic patterns, make necessary adjustments, and be able to react quickly to emergencies. After a few drinks, the good driver is no longer capable of doing this. He has become a poor driver and is a danger to himself and others. This happened to you, didn't it, Bill? Sure, you passed your sobriety test. It showed you had only 0.08% blood alcohol, about half the legal limit. They can't convict you on drunk driving, can they? But you'll always have to face the fact that those beach party beers were a contributing factor in your accident. If you hadn't had them, you might have hit the brake pedal a second or two earlier. Those skid marks on the asphalt would have stopped on the right side, not the wrong side of that young woman and her daughter. The report just came through. The little girl died on the way to the hospital, and the mother will probably never walk again. No matter how your trial comes out, you'll always have to live with those facts, won't you, Bill? A child dead, a mother crippled. Not a pleasant future to face at the age of 18.
Oh,
right, Jimmy. Now let's see what we have here. Ice chest, football, flashlight, lamp, tackle box, bone. Bone?
Bone?
Bone.
Hey, guys! I'm going fishing with my dad!
Jimmy! Jimmy! Jimmy, come here. You could have been killed. You know...
I know.
No. And you've seen traffic safety rules that they taught you in school.
I learned them, but...
No. If you had, you wouldn't have run out in front of the car like that.
But...
No buts. If that car had hit you, you wouldn't be able to go fishing tomorrow. Or ever. You could have been killed. You're not responsible.
I am too responsible. I just forgot. I know the CNBC rules.
Jimmy, wash your hands. Time to eat.
Okay, Mom, coming!
Well, Jimmy says he knows the safety rules. I wonder if he really does.
Jimmy, turn off the light and go to sleep.
Okay, Dad. I know the rules. See means that I must see every car coming towards me. Be seen means that I must see every driver to be sure he sees me. See and be seen. See.
Jimmy! Don't be frightened. We are your friends. We just want to be sure that you really learned the see and be seen traffic safety rules in school.
I did, Mr. Carr.
But he forgot them. When they make a mistake, they say they forgot, when they never knew them in the first place. In my time, I've seen hundreds of boys just like him.
So have I. In my time, most young boys and girls are good. They know what responsibility means. Give Jimmy a chance.
He shouldn't be allowed out of the house.
Gentlemen, gentlemen. Jimmy says he knows the see and be seen traffic safety rules. Give him a chance. Let's see if he really does. Jimmy?
Well, make sure to see and be seen when you cross with a green light. Make sure to see any oncoming car. Then you know you can be seen by the driver.
Not always, Jimmy. You and your young friends are not very tall yet. And it can be very hard for a driver to see you. When you step down into the street, you can almost disappear. Or even disappear completely. Do you understand that, Jimmy?
Oh yes, Mr. Carr. Now I really know why it's important to be seen.
Good. Good. What else can you tell us about the see and be seen rules?
Well, I always make sure to see any hidden car and to be seen by the driver.
What do you mean by a hidden car?
You know, one car that is hidden behind another car. It's like what happened to Susie and her friend. They saw the driver of a small truck, and he saw them and stopped. So the girls started across, watching to see if other cars might be coming. And sure enough, they saw another car. They saw the driver. But she didn't see them. At least not until the very last second.
Excellent. Jimmy seems to know. But he forgets. He is in trouble for running into the street.
I did forget just that one time.
That one time could have been your first and last time.
Oh, yes, I know. One day, some of us were playing, and I almost ran into the street. I saw the car and stopped right where the driver didn't see me. He kept right on going.
Perhaps Jimmy was in the driver's blind spot.
Blind spot?
Ha! What do you think a blind spot is?
A blind spot is where someone can't see?
That's true.
Let me explain, Jimmy. Every passenger car makes blind spots for the driver. The driver can see you here through the windshield, but not here where a post blocks the view. The driver can see you here through his rear view mirror, but not here where the rear post cuts off the view.
Now I understand about blind spots.
All right, Jimmy. Is that all you know?
Oh, I know more.
Then get on with it.
If you're crossing a street with a green light, be very careful if cars are making left turns. Sometimes drivers don't see you. Always be sure you're seen before you walk in front of a car.
Very good. No. This boy forgets. He could be a straggler. Do you ever lag behind the group?
Well, only once.
Once?
Guys! Hey, guys! I saw the car and the driver. I saw his eyes. I could see that he saw me. So quick as I could, without running, I finished crossing. Of course, always try not to be a straggler, because you can be seen better when you are part of a large group.
This is all very good. But what about bad weather? And at night?
Well, we always make sure to be extra careful to see in bad weather and to be sure to be seen. When it rains, use one of those plastic umbrellas you can see through, so you don't have a blind spot. At night, well, we always wear something white. White makes it easier for a driver to see you. Susie has a jacket that shines in the dark.
I must say, I am impressed. Jimmy really knows the see and be seen traffic safety rules.
I agree. But he doesn't remember.
Oh, but I do. I will remember the C and B scene rules.
I believe Jimmy should have another chance. Jimmy,
Yes, sir?
do you promise to remember the C and B scene traffic safety rules?
And you promise to practice them every day of your life?
Do you?
Oh, yes, sir. I do, I do, I do, I do, I
Jimmy,
do. Morning, Dad.
it's a beautiful morning.
Oh, Dad. Those C and B scene rules.
Oh, have you been thinking about those C and B scene rules?
All night long, Dad.
You have? Really?
Honest.
All right. Let's hear them.
Okay, Dad. Look for cars behind the one car you see. Drivers sometimes have trouble seeing little kids. To be sure you're seen, look right at the driver's eyes. Make extra sure you are not in the driver's blind spot. You're always safer in a group. Don't be a straggler. Be extra careful in bad weather and at night.
Jimmy, that's just great. You know, a responsible young man like you deserves a fishing trip.
Oh, boy. Can Chip go too?
Of course. Okay, everybody, hop in.
Buster, you forgot to fasten your shoulder harness and your seat belt.
So I did. Who said that?
Maybe it was the car, Dad.
Now that's ridiculous. Who ever heard of a talking car?
Okay, everybody ready? Cameras rolling. Quiet, please. Action. I'm in Batesville, Indiana, where a wrecked van is on display in front of the Batesville High School. There's a story behind every wrecked car. You wonder who was driving. Where were they going? What stopped them so abruptly? Was it a pretty face that made this gaping, jagged hole in the windshield? There are hints that it didn't start out to be a story with an ugly end. A blood-stained purse, and a program. It was the junior-senior prom. A white rosebud corsage. It might have been pressed in a family Bible in memory of this night, but now it lies wilting and forgotten. A grim reminder that for the girl who wore it, this was to be the last prom. Story began one afternoon after school when Judy Grant dropped by to see her best friend, Sandy Clark.
Sandy, Judy's here. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Judy. What you doing? Government. What else? Come on. I heard Mr. Jenkins gives a test to the person I read. He never, ever does. I know. Listen, do you have a date for the prom yet? Not yet. Tom and I just broke up 2 weeks ago, you know. That was cool. I could see that. Was Tom coming up and everything? I know. Well, how's that killer still gone? I don't think I know him. Yes, you do. He's one with the white band with the blue big bag. Oh, yeah. It's kind of an old one. He's always working on it out in his driveway. Yeah, we used to pass his house all the time. That's right. That's right. Well, see, he's Tim's best friend, so. Well, I just don't want to be fixed up. But it wouldn't be like that with Jim talking to him, please. Well, okay, I guess. Oh, good. I'm glad you said yes. Jim's on his way over to Bill's right now to ask him. Judy, you're terrible. I've got to go. Okay. Bye. See you later. Mom? Mom? Mom, I think I might have a date for the prom. That's nice. Who is it, dear? It's Bill Donovan. You know the guy with the white van? You mean that one we keep driving by all the time? Yeah. Well, I suppose it's all right, but I hear he's a fast driver. Well, he hasn't asked me yet, but I think he's going to.
Hey, Bill, how you doing?
Hey, Jim, what's up?
Oh, not much. I was just on my way over to see you. Glad I caught you.
Yeah, I'm glad you weren't under that tunnel, man. There's not even enough room to pass a moped in there.
Yeah, I know. Hey, listen, you going to the prom?
Nah. All the neat girls are going to stay.
Sandy.
Sandy?
Well, you might not know her. She's a junior, but she's in Judy's government class. They hang around a lot together.
Oh, a little shorter than you with long blonde hair?
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah. I think I saw her walking in the Jenkins class the other day with Judy.
She just broke up with Tom Grove a couple of weeks ago. Why don't you ask her tomorrow?
Okay.
Hi, Judy. Sandy. Hey, Sandy, do you know Bill Donovan?
No, I don't. Hi, Bill. Hi, Sandy.
Hey, Judy, I want to talk to you.
So, Sandy, have you got a date to the prom yet?
Not yet. I just broke up with Tom a couple of weeks ago. Bad timing, huh?
Yeah. Well, if you're not going with Tom, how'd you like to go with me?
Sure, that'd be great.
Judy, Sandy, are you planning to come in, or are you going to take the test out here in the hall?
Listen, I'll call you tonight, okay?
Okay, bye. He's calling you tonight. Oh, yeah, I've known Judy a long time. Mm-hmm. Oh, Bill, I'm so glad you asked me. I'm just so excited, I can hardly wait. So see you tomorrow at 7:30, right? Okay, bye.
forget your daddy want to take a picture of you, so don't go rushing off.
I won't. Does my hair look okay?
You look just fine.
If he doesn't show up, I'll take you myself.
Oh, Daddy.
Well, now, I don't make such a bad-looking date.
I'll get it. This part of the story needs no explanation, for it has been reenacted on the American scene a million times. And every family photo album in America must be filled with a dozen shots like these.
Sandy, Bill's here. Hold it there a second, Sandy. I'd like to get a picture. Hold it. That's it. Good. Okay.
Hello, Sandy.
I'd like to meet my mother. Mother, this is Bill Donovan.
How you doing, Mr. Carter?
And I guess you've met my father. He's the one with the camera.
Here's your corsage, Sandy.
Oh, thank you, Bill.
Hope it goes okay with your dress.
Oh, white rosebud. This is perfect. Thank you.
Hold on a second. I want to get a shot of that.
Here, let me help you.
Let me get just one other.
Oh, here's your boutonniere. Sandy, help him pin it on.
Sorry, gotta get a shot of that too.
We don't watch it. We'll spend the whole night here taking pictures.
Just one more. Good. Side by side. Great. Just like that. Hold it now.
I think Sandy and I want to go check our makeup. Can I take it for us?
Sure, go ahead.
It didn't show, did it? I mean, when they took the picture.
No, they thought you had a deformed chest this time.
You want to try it?
Yeah, let me have some of that.
Cool. It's a little better when you mix it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that one.
Baby, you look how much quit. You're kidding. I got so cute. Hi, Susan. I didn't think you'd be here. Where are you with? Bill Donovan. Great. That is Thank you. I like it too. I love it. Talk to that guy. Pretty wild. Oh, he's in this great. Yeah, besides, Bill and I are chaperoning. Come on, we better get back. I think we set them up. Oh, come on. Bye. Bye. Hi, you guys. Hi.
Another?
No, I think I'll wait till later.
We got plenty more.
Oh, Mr. Jenkins is coming. You better hide that.
Hello, Jim. Bill.
Hello, Mr. Jenkins.
Say, what happened? Did your dates abandon you?
Oh, I don't think so, sir. I think they're over there fixing up their hair.
Here they are. Oh.
Hi, Mr. Jenkins.
Sandy, Judy.
You look awfully nice tonight.
Why, thank you very much, Sandy. And I must say that you girls are absolutely beautiful. Listen, y'all have a real nice time tonight, huh? I've got to run.
Oh, see you later, Mr. Jenkins.
He's so nice. I like him.
What do you say? You want to grab a table?
There is a similarity to all of the thousands of proms that take place across the nation each spring. Most, like this one, represent a huge project to turn the gym into a fancy ballroom.
Hey, Phil. Hold that under the table for me, will you, please?
Oh, you gonna put some of that vodka in there?
Yeah.
All right. I'll watch for Mr.
Keep
Jenkins.
an eye out for Jack.
Where did he go before we left?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's just cruising around looking for people with alcoholic beverages.
Watch for Jenkins. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to get coffee and stuff.
Let me have some of that. Sandy, you want some?
No, thanks. I'm having a good time. Don't worry. You sure? Yeah. Okay.
all that vodka, man. Why don't you say we go out for a ride and cool off a little?
Sounds okay to me. We can have a couple of beers. I got a six-pack in the van.
That sounds great. What about you, Sandy? I don't know. Seems like we just got here.
Oh, we won't be gone long. Things are just getting started here.
Yeah, there'll be a lot more people here when we get back.
Come on.
Well, okay, I guess.
Okay.
There's another similarity to all prom. In spite of all the effort to create the most exciting prom possible, there will always be those couples who will slip away for a drive. Perhaps it's teenage exuberance, or perhaps it's just that an event they've anticipated for so long can never live up to their expectations.
Let's have a couple of these beers.
All right.
How about you, Sandy?
No, thanks. I just don't like the taste.
Oh, come on, a little bit more, yeah?
Yeah, come on, Sandy. Listen up a little. What the heck? I mean, for Jim and me, this will be the last prom. Well, maybe I'll have a little for the bills later. I'm having a great time, honest.
Let's go for a ride.
Okay.
Okay.
Another one?
Oh, no thanks, man. I still got some left in this one. Sandy, you want to try the radio, get some music that you like?
Yeah.
WRBI rocking with you tonight. This is Mitch throwing in some good tunes for you. We'll get you another one. But first I want to mention this. Tonight is prom night at several schools around the area, and that includes Batesville High. Hey, all you Batesville Bulldogs, take care if you're out and about with your lady, and don't do anything I wouldn't do. Weather outlook for tonight, clear, with temperatures hanging in there around 60. It's what I call a perfect cruising night. It's 10:05 at RBI. You're in tune with your rock connection.
Like you're out.
Oh, thanks a lot. I was just trying to say, Sandy, why don't you open that for us?
Maybe some drink so much that I'm off. You never can handle it. Well, at least until we get back to the prom. Yeah, let's go back. I'll be going pretty good now.
Yeah, what do you say we get this show on the road, huh?
Hey, hang on. I'm taking a shortcut.
Are we going awfully fast? Come on, I know these roads like the back of my hand.
The scene of a wreck is never a pretty place. The muddy embankment of a railroad overpass is hardly the kind of place one would choose to die.
Gee, it looks like a bad accident. From clear to the windshield. I think that one boy's dead. They must have just left prom.
There are always the curious, perhaps drawn there to experience the reality of the statistics we read and hear about.
insurance office, actuarial tables will be changed. For the record books, a fatal wreck is an ending. But for the rest of us, it is the beginning. The beginning of the silent suffering, of the bitter memories of those who will mourn the dead.
Margaret Mary Community Hospital, Batesville Rescue 10.
This is Margaret Mary. Go ahead.
She was involved in a car accident and she was thrown through the windshield. She has a possible neck injury, possible fractured skull, and severe facial lacerations. Vitals, her BP is 80/40. Her respirations are slow and shallow, and her pulse is 40. Her pupils are unequal at this time. Our ETA is approximately 5 minutes. Also, Rescue 10B will be arriving shortly with more victims, and there is one possible VOA.
At hospitals and emergency rooms around the country, it is inevitable that special occasions like the prom will produce emergency situations. Doctors and nurses stand by in a grim vigil, and their wait is seldom in vain.
Here they come now.
If you are alive, we pray through this holy anointing that the Lord in his love and mercy help you with the grace of the Holy Spirit. Amen. May the Lord who frees you from sin save you and raise you up. Amen.
Two of our chairs are vacant today. I guess by now you all know the reason why. Sandy's chair will never be filled again. Judy's chair will be empty for a long, long time. I'm going to leave those two chairs empty for the rest of this semester, and even into the start of the next school year, as a reminder to us all that statistics are not just numbers. They mean people by those numbers. And I guess now we all know that it's not always the other guy. I had the grim task this morning of cleaning out Sandy's locker and putting everything into a small box and wondering what I was going to tell her parents when I gave it to them. But I guess I feel the most for Bill Donovan. Not just because of all of the legal charges that he faces, but because he'll be blaming himself for this and carrying that guilt along inside of him for the rest of his life. Sandy's funeral is tomorrow morning. Those of you who can will be excused, of course, to attend. I'm sure that Mr. and Mrs. Clark will appreciate our being there. Oh, we've all learned a very valuable lesson from all this. Dear God, what price?
Sandy Clark is wearing a formal gown today. She wears a white rosebud corsage. But few will realize this, for the lid of the coffin was not opened. It was best that way.
I'll ask her tomorrow. Well, if you're not going with Tom, how'd you like to go with me?
Sure, that'd be great. son will be staying the whole night here taking pictures.
And I must say that you girls are absolutely beautiful.
Oh, come on, we won't be gone long. Things are just starting here.
Yeah, come on, Sandy, live it up. I mean, presumably this will be the last stop.
Receive her soul, O Lord Jesus Christ, and present Sandy to God the Most High. May her soul and the souls of all the faithful departed through the mercy of God rest in peace. And may the blessing of Almighty God, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit come upon you and remain with you forever. Amen.
There is a story behind every wrecked car. Statistics have taken on a grim reality. For the family and friends of Sandy Clark, nothing can ever be the same again.
Do you remember how much fun you had in an amusement park when you were a kid? Well, when you're a parent, you live it all over again through the eyes of your child. That's my little girl, Nancy. It's her fun and frolic. A treat Alice and I have promised her before sending her on a visit to Grandma. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to introduce Susie. Nancy would never forgive me. She's made Susie an important part of our family. You know how it is. When a little girl has no brothers or sisters, her doll can become pretty important. And sometimes, so help me, I almost think the girl, the doll, has a personality of her own. Sometimes the upkeep on Susie stretches our family budget. Nancy wants her to have dresses just like she has, and make sure Susie shares all the family treats. Well, it is amusing. And of course, we don't spoil her like this all the time. Nancy was only worried about one thing. Would she remember every single bit of excitement so she could tell it all to Grandma? Alice said roller coasters are all right. But she prefers riding in the family car. We both enjoy taking long drives together, and this one had a special purpose. We were on our way to pick up Nancy. She'd been with Alice's mother for a week. It seemed a lot longer than that. The house had been so quiet. But we did have Susie to keep us company. With everything that Nancy had to take on the plane, there just hadn't been room for a playmate the size of Susie. Then, less than a half an hour out of town.
Jesus, watch out!
Although we were both wearing seatbelts, Alice was badly shaken up. I blame myself for maybe driving a little too fast. You always feel guilty at a time like this, even when it's the other fellow's fault. I have to get Alice over to Dr. McAllister right away. Then we discovered something that gave us both a genuine shock. What if this had been Nancy?
I examined both Mr. and Mrs. Norwood and was happy to tell them that apart from a few abrasions and shattered nerves, they had suffered no serious injury. If they hadn't been wearing their seatbelts, however, the verdict would have been different, disastrously different. I I thought I was through with my patients when my eyes fell on another caterer. Mr. Norwood was a bit embarrassed until I told him about my work with dolls that had survived car collisions. As a medical consultant for the Institute of Transportation and Traffic Engineering, I examined the dolls that represented children and the dummies that represented adults in a scientific collision staged by the University of California at Los Angeles. Strategically placed cameras covered everything that happened during impact. We were especially interested in what happened to children with and without belts because this subject had not been explored. But even though they were only dolls, and even though these were scientific experiments, we couldn't avoid a feeling of tension and a sense of impending tragedy. For several months, the collision experiments continued at different speeds, at different points of impact, sometimes with the passengers belted, sometimes unbelted. Speeds such as these of 30 and 40 miles an hour may be moderate by today's driving standards, but not to the motorist slammed about against glass and metal. Children should never be allowed to stand on the seat of a car. Sitting tends to restrict body movement generated by the forces of impact to the rear seat. In many cases where the children were not restrained, our diagnosis of probable injuries showed that they would have been killed. Babies held on laps were thrown completely out of the car. Even in the most severe collisions, university findings showed that the 3-year-olds seated on cushions and restrained by adult belts came through uninjured. As a result of these experiments, it was found that for 1-year-olds, the anchored harness, or harness secured by passing a seatbelt strap through the loops, was the most effective means of restraining the little. We found that infants were safest in bassinets, with the long axis of the bassinet aligned with the longitudinal axis of the car and strapped in this position. We also found that infants or children must never be held on the lap and restrained with the adult's belt, as collision forces tend to crush the child. Perhaps you think a collision can never happen to you, but the children will be safer if you admit that it could and prepare accordingly. I wish that everybody could see these scenes because I don't believe that anyone who did would ever let the children go riding unrestrained again.
Of course, I had already made up my mind to have the back seat belts installed while the car was in the shop. And we never go anywhere now that we aren't all safely belted. Oh yes, you're probably wondering about Susie. Dr. McAllister knew where to send us, and now she's as good as new. She may be only a doll, but she's never left out. And that includes a safety belt for Susie.
Many people who would do anything to protect their children do nothing to save them from injury, pain, or death in the motor accident that can happen at any time. This is a frank appeal to all mothers and fathers. Without restraints, such as safety belts, the rear seat of an automobile in itself is not adequate protection. University research shows that children who will otherwise be killed can live to prove that safety is no accident.
My name is Ike. I'm a bike. As drivers, you're going to see a lot of them. Bikes and cars are a great part of our style of life. We like freedom and mobility, but we have to get along together. I like bikes. Ooh, some bump. Gliding fancy-free. I like bikes. They're number one with me. Like bikes. I'm just a biking nut. I like bikes. But and then, when Lisa was 5,
I like bikes.
At 15, she likes bikes, but she loves cars. When she gets her license, will she change her likes? Will she still like bikes? We'll see. When she gets her license, when she gets her license, when it gets here, if she ever gets her license, will she still like bikes? Well, tonight will be the test. It's time to solo. I like bikes, but they're so hard to see. Oh yeah, they're so hard to see. Look at me. I blend with fogs. I hide behind dogs. And when the thunder crashes, I'm out there making splashes. I lurk in drives. And when the sun gets in your eyes, surprise! Oh yes, I'm hard to see. So please, watch out for me. Hey, she likes me! Hard to see. Watch out. Now she's someone who really can say, I like bikes. Hard to see. Watch out. So, keep your eye on that reflection, because you can't tell which direction I'm going to be hard to see. bet. I like bikes, but little things upset him. It isn't only when I'm wet that I'm easily upset. And just let me try to travel on gravel, or tangle my chain, or run across a roadway drain, or fallen leaves. Sheesh, what a pain. Little things upset us. Oh, we bikes. Why can't we? Why don't we? Why can't we pay attention? Why can't we seem to notice a sign beside the road is meant for us? The signs all point the way to accident prevention. Why? Oh why can't we pay attention? Until the day we do, I'm afraid it's up to you. Hey, good girl. Again, I ought to mention that you should pay attention, because sometimes we don't. Thanks again, miss, for showing us that you like bikes. I like bikes. Lighting fancy-free. I like bikes. They're number one with me. I like their style. They make me smile. They suit me to a T. But safety-wise, please realize, you never should trust me. I like bikes, but I like bikes, but I like bikes, but so to make the going safer for each big and little shaver, for all the golden oldies and the tykes, though the biker may be wrong, if you like us, you belong. So say what we've been saying all along. I like bikes. And then act like it, please.
Tonight I woke up with a bad shame in my right foot. But the doctor says this happens to people who have had their right leg amputated. At first I couldn't believe my leg was gone. A guy like me, who was always so active and always involved in sports, who spent so much of his time playing tennis, or bowling when it was too cold for tennis. And when hunting, I could cover more rough country than any of them. I can't believe that at my age, I'll never be able to do most of these things again. All that first day, after I found out about my leg, I nearly went crazy, thinking about what I'd have to give up. Man, that's typical of the way I've always been, let's face it. All I've had on my mind was my son. Then something happened to make me forget about me and my leg. I forgot because I found out why Jim wasn't in the other bed. He was still in the operating room. Lori, my wife, told me they don't expect Jim to live. If Jim dies, it's my fault. If he dies, I killed him. I can't even remember when I didn't know Jim. I've got to admit that Jim was the steadier of the two of us. He got married first, after he'd also been first in getting a good job. They used to say you could tell the difference between us by the way we drove cars. Jim was smoother behind the wheel. Always felt I was a bone driver. I'd never had any real trouble, and that was my trouble. Maybe I'd have gotten wise if I hadn't always been able to skin through. But I got away with some pretty bad habits, even when Lori was with me. Like going too fast in the wrong places. For instance, a neighborhood street where Jim used to say kids could appear from behind parked cars like magic. But the worst bad habit of all was thinking I was always as good a driver as I was sometimes. Like when I was too tired and ought to get off the road. I don't know how many times, especially on hunting trips, I was just plain lucky. It was the same thing when I'd had a few drinks. Again, I got away with it. Too many times, after a party or some celebration or other, I drove. And there must have been an angel on my shoulder. Until that one night, when the angel wasn't there. The night I took the road that always leads to trouble. Highball Highway.
As Tom's attorney, I filled him in on the legal end of it. About the tests and the analysis for checking out the alcohol in your blood when you're involved with drunk driving. Every skill, including the ability to drive, diminishes in proportion to alcohol consumption. With only 0.05%, that's about 2 or 3 drinks, you're not the driver you ought to be. As the blood alcohol increases, you become more under the influence, until everyone is affected at a level of 0.10%. In a lot of critical driving situations, when normal reaction time is hardly enough, a few drinks can kill you. What's worse, your drinks can kill other people.
Other people. I know there's nothing to it. But as long as that bed is empty, I feel that Jim will come back. If they put somebody else in it. Anyway, I didn't know anything about alcohol in your blood the other night. Forbes, Fred, Harley, Jim, and myself have been bowling, the usual for Thursday night.
Say, how about stopping by the hideaway? I really couldn't, fellas.
Jim was the only one who really wanted to get home. He had an important sales meeting early the next day. He gave in without too much argument. much use wishing we'd gone home earlier. Except, somehow or other, we had more to drink than we intended. It didn't seem very long until it was closing time. And by that time, it was too late. In more ways than one. By the time I got out on the road, Jim had the feeling we should have gone with the others in a cab. And I was beginning to feel the same way. But I wanted to get home, and I wanted to get Jim home. We haven't been home yet. Maybe Jim never will. I don't really know what happened. I got around the car at an intersection, and... To avoid the other car, I skidded, lost control, and turned over. In a hospital bed in the middle of the night, nothing seems right. Nothing seems real. But this is real enough. If Jim goes, what about Margie, his wife? His widow? What about his children? What can I do? He's got to be still alive.
Got a friend of yours here. He's over the worst of it. He's going to be all right.
Thank God.
They say Tom will be able to drive again. Lots of people drive with artificial legs. And when he does, he'll have a better reminder than most of us. No matter how good a driver you are, there are times when you can't drive. When you're asleep. Probably even when you're angry or upset. And certainly after you've had the few too many that can maim or kill you. Or maybe what's worse, the few too many that can maim or kill other people. Tom can't go back and make it right. The only person who can do that is you, the driver, to whom as yet, nothing like this has ever happened.
The unfortunate driver we've just seen could have been any one of us, even if we never drink. Drinking before you get behind the wheel is simply another bad driving habit. And any bad driving habit can get you into trouble. According to the experts in such matters, the first senses affected by alcohol are our sense of judgment and our sense of right and wrong. That other you, after a few drinks, may be personable and thoroughly charming. But that other you can't drive safely. Those same few drinks that bring out the best in your personality can only accentuate your worst driving habits. So stay out of trouble. If you drink, don't drive.
Did you ever notice how people in a hurry tend to disobey the rules? Now that can get them in a lot of trouble. If you happen to be in their way, it can also get you in a lot of trouble. It isn't every day you run into a bank robber, but 1 out of 3 accidents occur at intersections. They happen every day, and usually because somebody did something wrong. Besides obeying the rules yourself, you've always got to look out for the other guy. An intersection is a place where traffic moves in many directions. This intersection is regulated by a traffic light. It is regulated, but not controlled. The control comes from the drivers themselves. A traffic light is a timing device. It measures the time allotted for each line of traffic to move ahead. It says who must yield the right of way, but it does not prevent other drivers from being wrong. When they are, the results can be disastrous. As a driver, your first job is to know the rules, your second to obey them, your third to guard against the mistakes of others. This intersection has no stop signs or lights. It is unregulated. When 2 cars arrive at the same time, the law dictates that the car on the left shall yield to the car on the right. But don't bet your life on it. Some drivers forget, and nobody wins a tie. Occasionally, at intersections regulated by 4-way stop signs, 4 cars arrive at once. Then who goes first? The solution to this problem is courtesy and communication. A yield sign means that you must yield to cars on the intersecting roadway. If you roll through a yield sign and cause an accident, it's your fault. This car has just violated the law. The driver rolled through the stop sign. He did not stop completely. Now, this might be okay for a yield sign, but a stop sign means what it says. And you must stop at the line or before. If there is no line, then stop at the crosswalk. A flashing red light means the same as a stop sign. A flashing yellow light is a warning signal and means proceed with caution. At an intersection, it is similar to a yield sign. And this familiar sign, while it's the most useful of all, frequently means trouble. A lot of people play games with traffic lights. One of the most common is trying to beat a stale green light. This driver knows that green light ahead is stale. He knows it will shortly change, but he wants to beat it, just for the fun of it, or because he's impatient. And he made it, this time. Odds are, the odds will catch up with him. If he's lucky, he'll get a ticket. If not, he'll get this. It's not smart to play games with 2 tons of steel. The right way to approach an intersection is to get your speed down to the point where you can stop easily. Take your right foot off the accelerator and poise it over the brake pedal. That saves you vital reaction time in case you need to stop. Before starting off at an intersection, look first to your left and then to your right to make sure the cross traffic has stopped. There may be some joker coming your way who never heard of stale green. If you're going to make a turn, show your intention well in advance, both by signal and position. Get in your turning lane well in advance of the turn. In making a left turn, don't try to dart in front of oncoming traffic. They have the right of way, and you must wait until there's a safe break in oncoming traffic. It's also a good idea to keep your wheels pointed straight ahead while waiting to make a left turn. That way, if you're struck from behind, you won't be shoved into the oncoming traffic. Make your turn briskly, but carefully. Pedestrians may dash into the crosswalk and force you to stop. Turn into the inside lane. Don't swing wide into the outside lane, where there may be a conflict with an oncoming vehicle making a right turn. When you make a left turn at an intersection, don't stop beyond the center as these cars are. They are hopelessly locked in the tangle turn. Instead, execute the tangent turn from a position short of the center. This permits traffic from both directions to turn left at the same time. The expressway. No intersection problems here, right? Wrong. It's just a different kind of intersection with a whole new set of problems. Watch out for these signs. You're on an exit ramp instead of an entrance ramp, and on your way to a deadly head-on crash in high-speed traffic. When you enter an expressway, it's an intersection of sorts. Speed up in the acceleration lane and blend into the traffic stream smoothly. Approaching an interchange, move into the passing lane, leaving the entry lane open for merging cars. Getting off, get in the deceleration lane well in advance and signal. Slow down and enter the exit ramp at the posted speed. If by chance you should overshoot your exit, you must go ahead to the next exit. Don't try to back up and get on the ramp. When you leave the expressway, shift your mental gears to prepare yourself for the slower cruising speeds of non-expressway driving. And remember, 1/3 of all accidents happen at intersections, and most because of some kind of carelessness. Know where you're going, show where you're going, slow for the intersection, and go when it's safe. That's the way defensive driving protects you from the jokers of this world.